Gold and silver. World news.
Fair to say you simply flooded the system with money.
Yes, we did. That's another way to think about it. We did.
Where does it come from? Do you just print it?
We print it digitally, and we do that by buying treasury bills. That actually increases the money supply.
Financial turmoil explained.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the show on this October 3rd, 2022, a Monday. Thank you for tuning in. This is a big fake out. I think the markets are interpreting that the Fed is ready to pivot right now. And this is what the emergency meeting is all about. Take a look here. Federal Reserve, Board of Governors, the Federal Reserve System. It says it's anticipated that the closed meeting of the Board of Governors of the Federal Reserve System is to take place at 11:30 a.m. on Monday, October 3rd, 2022. It will be held under expedited procedures as set forth in Section 261B/7 of the Federal Board's rules regarding public observation of meetings. So the information's going to come out about what they're going to do, because this says rules regarding public observation of the meetings. And so I think that the markets right now are thinking, hey, the Fed's reached their limit of how far they're willing to push the markets. Things are turning downwards, and the Fed's going to step in to preserve the markets. And they think that's what the emergency meeting's all about right now. And what we're seeing is a reflection of that in the markets. But I think it's a head fake. I think the Fed's having this meeting so that they can even go tighter. This is what I think is going on. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it will be the pivot. But I just don't feel like the inflation hasn't turned. It's gotten just as strong as it ever was, and I think now the Fed's even panicking to try to stop it now at this point. And I think that they're going to step on the pedal harder, and they're going to be tighter in monetary policy than they've been before, even raise interest rates maybe a whole percentage point at the next. But they're going to crack the market open. Is what they're going to do. If they do what I think they're going to do, and what I think they're going to do is be even tighter, they're going to crack the market open, and then they're going to switch. Then we're going to see the pivot. So I don't think this meeting is a pivot. I think we're going to see another emergency meeting down the line, very similar to this, but that will be the pivot. So that's what I think's going on. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's what I think's going on. We'll have to wait and see. And one other thing I wanted to talk about. I got it wrong. I was talking about the Bank of England withdrawing the different notes, like the 50-pound note, and I thought that they were getting rid of them entirely. No, what they're doing is they're exchanging them for the paper notes. They're exchanging them for these polymer notes. Okay? So they're not getting rid of them. But you got to think about something about this. They will know now exactly how many notes are out there. And any notes that don't come into them are invalidated. So they're not concerned with those. But now they'll know exactly how many notes are out there in the system and where they're at. Even who's got them, because who turns them in. So take that into consideration. Okay? But, paper, back when they had paper notes, paper does have a certain amount of value. It's not much, but at least you can use it to light a fire with, or use it when you come out of the outhouse. I mean, when you're in the outhouse, But polymer, it's absolutely 100% worthless. What can you do with this stuff? Anyway, it's just a side note on that. Anyway, so let's get on here and let's take a look at the markets today. And we're seeing the silver price just made a moonshot, up $1.26. I've predicted back in past shows that we're going to see $3 days on silver, up over $3 in one day. And I'm still sticking by those predictions, but this is not it yet. It's coming down the pike. But this gives us a signal of which way silver's going to go. When the Fed really does pivot, it's going to be bigger than this even. You know? And you got to understand you're buying a metal that has a limited downside risk because of the cost of mining production. The world needs silver. Has to have it. They can't make an Apple iPhone without silver. Okay? They're going to have silver. They're going to have silver. And it costs an amount of money to get it out of the ground and get it processed. It's as simple as that. So the downside risk is minimal. There is a downside risk, though. But like I say, it's minimal compared to a lot of other things. The upside potential? Well, you can see it right here. And I still stick by it. We're going to see our $3. In fact, I'm saying multiple $3 days up to the upside coming. Now, if you just hang pat on your dollars are losing 8.5%. According to their metrics, they're losing 8.5% every year. The purchasing, I think it's a lot more than that. You just go in and take a look at food prices. You can't afford to buy a steak anymore. It's like, what the heck? $50 for that little cut of meat? Won't even, it's one meal, and you got to cook it yourself. Honest to gosh. Anyway, listen, guys. Taking a look here at gold. Gold today, it's shooting up right now too. It's up $19.20 in anticipation of what they consider to be the Fed pivot. By gosh, this could take a crushing blow on all of the markets if I turn out to be right and the Fed's going to become even tighter than they are right now. Okay, which is what I think's coming. I think it's going to be a real slap in the face because they're all expecting the pivot, and here they're pushing everything up. Cryptos today. Bitcoin is at 19,263, so it's not catching that much of a bid. Ethereum 1305. But gold and silver sure caught a bid. And doesn't that tell you something? Because when the real Fed pivot comes, this is like a test run. And this kind of tells you which way things are going to go when the real Fed pivot comes. By gosh, look at Joe gold and silver jump. And this is on just them speculating on a pivot. Can you imagine when the real pivot comes? So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be? Real physical gold and silver. You can't beat it, guys. Anyway, take a look now at the Dow Jones Industrial Average. And it's up 522 points right now. They're really sitting there, really hopeful for a Fed pivot, aren't they? Oh my gosh, the disappointment if the Fed doesn't pivot. If the Fed comes in tighter, in fact. If the Fed says it's talking about raising interest rates by a whole point or maybe even 1.5 points next month. They'll bring on the crash. And that's the way I think they're going to go. I think they're going to get tighter than they've ever been. But you can see the effect of this emergency Fed meeting. They're all excited out there. They're all thinking, oh, wow, this is the pivot. Yeah, we got to get in there. And that's what they're doing right now. I just don't think so. I don't think it's yet. I don't think the timing's right yet for the pivot. There's not enough fear out there for the Fed. The Fed's, you hear how they were talking, the Fed, like how strong they're going to fight inflation and everything else. And we have seen the market sink a little bit, and we've seen a little bit of turbulence out there. Now, I could be wrong. There might be something behind the scenes, some sort of meltdown going on right now that caused the Fed meeting, and they just might pivot like the Bank of England did. But I don't think so. I don't think that's it. I'm just me. Maybe I'll be wrong. I kind of hope I'm wrong because I'd hate to see the gains on gold and silver just go down the toilet hole, and it drop $3 this afternoon or tomorrow when they get the real news. I'd hate to see that, Move index today. Oh, hold on. We got to do oil. Oil's up $4.46. It's $83.95. That's a big jump. over 5%, 5.61% on oil. Move index today, 141.89. So not a whole lot to see there. But you know about the move index is, on days like today, where it's not doing much, there's not much excitement. When this thing gets exciting, it gets exciting fast. you know. Okay, bonds and rates today. We're seeing some major drops in the bond yields today. We're looking at 3.62 on the 10-year. It's dropped 18 ticks down, the US 30 years 3.65, and it's dropped 10 basis points. And to finish off with the US dollar index is at 112.03, and it's fairly stable. Maybe I'll talk about Ukraine just for a minute here, Ukraine's been making quite a few advancements into Russian lines, and so they are in the middle of an offensive right now, a rather strong offensive. And what's supporting this offensive is weapons from the United States that come in big crates. They unpack the crates and they just start firing them off, because I got lots, buckets and buckets and buckets of bullets. Not just bullets, but things like the bigger rockets and whatever. It's like a big fireworks display. And they're very, these weapons, these munitions are very similar to fireworks. They are, except they're designed different. They're designed to do damage to other people. Rather than fireworks, they try to design them to be safe. And this is just quite the opposite. But anyway. So they're in this major offensive to Ukraine right now. But Russians are building in, and they're going to probably be planning for an offensive of their own down the road. And now that they got this major mobilization, I'm not really right now thinking about it. I'm thinking about they're probably going to wait until they see how their mobilization goes and how their new offensive, the Russians' new offensive, goes before they try to use any alternative weapons systems, if you get my drift. Mushroom cloud offensive type weapon systems. They're probably going to wait on that until they see how this conventional offensive goes, and now that's just me thinking, about that. So, but if this major offensive of theirs fails, then look out, down the road, but that might take months before that outcome of their next major offensive would be determined. And as far as the pipeline, the Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, well, Turk Stream is still running, I guess, but who blew it up? Who done it? Well, there's only a few countries that are capable of doing that, because they have to have professional teams that can go down underneath the water that deep, and still don't actually know, because nobody's really taking credit and said, I did it. And you can only speculate as to who's done it, I have my suspicions of who did it. And basically how I kind of figure it out is, as I sit down and I think to myself, who has the most to gain from doing that? And who has the most to lose? Because there's an old saying, follow the money. To give you the answers, follow the money. It seems like this whole system now, it all runs on money. Everything runs on money, and our money is corrupted. Never forget that. And eventually this is going to lead to a massive crisis, the corruption in the money. It's a more potent crisis than anything you could conceive of. And there's really no way out. It was taking us and moving the world from a gold standard into a fiat money standard was the biggest mistake mankind has ever made, other than maybe the second biggest mistake was inventing those damn nuclear weapons, you know? Anyway, thank you guys for listening to my show. Like and subscribe. We'll catch you guys in the next episode. You guys have a great afternoon. Bye-bye.